Dan Karcher back here on Sky Sox Warmup today. A special guest for us here at Security Service Field is the Vice President, Assistant General Manager for the Milwaukee Brewers, the new parent team for the Sky Sox, and that's Gord Ash. And Gord, good to see you. I know you were back here in September when we announced the partnership, but what do you think of the spring so far?
I quite enjoy it. It's a nice ballpark, certainly well maintained. The field looks good, especially for this early in the season, and got off to a great start last night. A little bit of a nervous ninth, but a win's a win.
That's right. Gord, what was your initial reaction when you realized that Colorado Springs would become your new AAA affiliate?
Well, our only experience here, and I had been here maybe 5 or 6 years ago, was the visiting clubhouse. That's about what you're exposed to. So I wasn't sure what we were getting ourselves into. We knew that Colorado Springs was a nice town. Travel probably challenging from time to time, but everything we thought has been eliminated. And the home clubhouse is tremendous. The people here are tremendous. The fans seem like they're very supportive, and we're looking forward to a good year here.
Well, based on the fact that you have 8 top 30 pitching prospects on the Sky Sox roster to begin the season, the Brewers are not shying away from sending some of their top pitchers here to the rarefied air of Colorado. What exactly is the philosophy of the Brewers in that regard?
Well, we're going to have to play that a little bit by ear because obviously we haven't had the experience here. We've looked at the numbers the last couple of years here, and it's really not a home run haven as much as it is an extra base hit ballpark. And pitchers do have trouble with strikeouts here, and it's not all that different from our home ballpark in Miller Park, which is a very offensive park. There's a lot of runs scored there. The pitchers need to learn to keep the ball down because the fly balls turn into home runs pretty easily in our power alleys. So there is some benefit, I think, in pitchers understanding how they need to pitch here. It's going to translate well into Miller Park.
Visiting with Gord Ash, the Vice President and Assistant General Manager for the Milwaukee Brewers here on Sky Sox Warmup. And we understand, Gord, the Sky Sox have been a AAA team now for 28 years, that it's all about development at this level, getting guys ready to play at the major league level there in Milwaukee. But where do the Brewers stand when it comes to winning at the minor league level?
Well, there's no better development tool than winning. It creates a much better atmosphere. It creates an environment where players want to practice, want to participate. And, Rick Sweet's a big part of that dynamic here, along with coaches Dabney and Scooby. Rick's here to win, and he understands development. He's been in a number of development roles, but they go hand in hand. They don't have to be exclusive to one another. I think there are times when you have young prospects that you want to see in the lineup, like we have in our pitching staff with Gagno and Cravey at the back end of the rotation. They're going to need to pitch, but we do have a pretty good bullpen here, and we're not going to expose them or overexpose them and let them get in trouble.
Other than his winning attitude, what are some of the other attributes that Rick Sweet brings to the table here at the AAA level as a manager?
Well, I think he's a great communicator. He involves everyone. Anybody on the bench is going to play. I think that's the players enjoy that, even though you may have some role-type players. They know they're going to get their opportunity, and he likes to move players around, play different positions. So it's a good experience, and I think that is a big factor too, just his experience. He's seen and done just about everything you can do, so there's nothing that phases him.
Gord Ash, my guest, the Vice President and Assistant General Manager for the Brewers. And, Gord, you have many responsibilities as part of your job, and one of those is to oversee, from what I understand, the Triple and Double A levels for the Brewers. Can you kind of give us a synopsis as to exactly what that entails for you?
Yeah, our setup's a little unique from most clubs. We run the AAA and AA club out of the office, and really what that means is that I have day-to-day contact with the coaching staff here. There's a lot of agent involvement. A lot of agents want to know where their players stand and what they can expect in terms of opportunities to move up, all those kind of things. So we really took those responsibilities away from our Director of Development, Reed Nichols, and let him focus on true development at the local lower levels, the 2 A-ball clubs and the 2 rookie clubs in our Dominican Academy. So he doesn't have to get involved in those phone calls and in those situations, which eat up a lot of your time and take away from his time on the field.
Well, you are a Toronto native, and you came up with the Blue Jays as far as your administrative background is concerned, and were the assistant general manager under Pat Gillick when the Blue Jays won their back-to-back World Series in '92 and 1993. And being a Toronto native, I would imagine that had to be extremely special for a guy like you.
Yeah, you don't often get to work in this business in your home city, and to have that opportunity was tremendous. And, for about a 10-year period, in 1985 through 94, it was a pretty special time in Toronto, the new stadium in '89, and 5 appearances in the playoffs and 2 World Series championships. So it was a lot of fun, learned a lot from Pat. He's now a Hall of Famer, and deservedly so for some of the moves and how he revolutionized the general manager business when, in particular, the Rule 5 draft. When you look at players like George Bell and Willie Upshaw and Kelly Gruber all coming through that Rule 5 draft, they were pretty significant players for us.
And you went on to become the general manager for the Blue Jays for several seasons. How would you describe that experience?
Yeah, it was a unique experience. I mean, it's certainly a much different opportunity when you're sitting in the second chair and you're not making those decisions, and you're maybe presenting some alternatives. But when you're in that chair and have to make those decisions, it's obviously a much tougher situation. But our club was going through a prolonged sale at the time, so that really complicated matters as well. But given that opportunity to have that position, I think I learned a lot, and if every opportunity came around again, I think I'd be better prepared.
Well, listen, it's great having you here in town and being a part of such a great organization in the Brewers. We thank you for the time and look forward to hooking up again down the road.
Absolutely. I plan on being here several times through the season, and it's been a great couple of days, and hopefully we can come out with a win tonight.
We're all about that. That's Gord Ash, the Vice President, Assistant General Manager for the Brewers. More to come on Sky Sox Warmup from Security Service Field right after this.